hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Now the sup part, have supper, is not talking about the Lord's going to come down or go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and buy a bucket of chicken. You're going to sit down and eat chicken with him. It's not talking about that. The supper refers to learning the word of the Most High. Because when you go to the book of Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, Ezekiel the 2nd chapter, Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, it speaks about eating this roll. If you go to the book of Romans, Revelation the 10th chapter, and you read that whole chapter, it speaks about an angel coming down and giving John a book, a little book, and telling him to eat this book. So that's what it's talking about, supper. In the book of John, the Lord himself said that he has meat that you know not of. And he was talking about the disciples, because they said they wanted to get some, we're going to go get some meat, Lord. And the Lord came back and said, look, I got meat you know not of. So that, and what is the meat? The meat is to do the will of the Most High. And what is the will of the Most High? To learn the scriptures and then to do what the scriptures say. Where we at? Go ahead, bring it on out.
This is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 1. Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. She hath killed her beasts. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maid.
And like I said, that table is not talking about you sitting down at an actual table and eating lamb or eating physical things that you eat or drinking wine. It's not talking about that. Wine represents wine that you drink, but in the scriptures, but it also represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. He refers to this word as wine. He refers to it as water, living water. He refers to it as milk. He refers to it as bread. Go ahead.
She hath sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled.
And that's talking about the word. Eat of my bread, which is his word, and drink of my wine. And he further says, before that, he says, anyone that's simple. We were all simple. We didn't know what was going on until the Most High opened up our eyes to this word. Okay, is there more to that? Go ahead.
Forsake the foolish and live and go in the way of understanding.
And who's foolish? All you Americans are foolish. All you Europeans are foolish. All you Japanese are foolish. All you Chinese are foolish. All you Arabs are foolish. All you people, members of Al-Qaeda, are foolish. All you members of the Taliban are foolish, because you don't know. Here you are following Allah, talking about Allah, and you reading the Quran. That's not the word of the Most High. And the Most High God is not Allah. So everything, going back to what the brother first read in the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, about these heathens. The heathens refer to you so-called Europeans in America, you Europeans around the world, in Europe, that live in Europe, you Arabs, you Chinese, and you Japanese. Everything that you're doing, your plans are all in vain. Your future plans are all in vain. Now, I want you to go from there to the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, and start at about the 5th verse. Because if you're not chosen to understand this word, and you call yourself trying to break this word down, this is going to be a stumbling block to you. Go ahead.
Romans 11 and 5. Even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. And if by grace, then is it no more of works. Otherwise grace is no more grace, but if it be of works, then is it no more grace. Otherwise work is no more work. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for.
There it goes again. The first scripture that we started with spoke about the nation of Israel. The Lord said, well, I will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. That was in the Old Testament, in the book of Isaiah. And now he's reading in the New Testament. Because when we speak about the nation of Israel, people come up and say, oh, well, that's the Old Testament. But we're reading right out of the New Testament. And it's still talking about the nation of Israel. If you're not an Israelite, then that's it for you. You're going to be destroyed, and you're going into slavery. Go ahead.
What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for.
Or that which he's supposed to seek for. Because what is the nation of Israel supposed to be seeking for? The truth. The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. To know that you're Israel, first and foremost. Once you know that you're Israel, then you keep the laws of the Most High. And then you receive the blessings, which ultimately is the kingdom of heaven. So it's talking about the nation of Israel. I'm sorry, buddy. This doesn't apply to you. If you're not an Israelite, if you're not on that sign that's being shown on the screen, if you're not on that sign that's being shown on the screen, then guess what? That's it for you. You're going into slavery. But I'll say this. Among you so-called white people, if you're an Italian, there's a good chance you could be an Israelite. Because when you go back to the Moors, which were Israelites, they were a group of Israelites thinking that they were Arabs, following, reading out of the Quran ignorantly, but these were Israelites. And they had planted their seed all throughout different parts of Italy, mainly southern Italy, but they were up in northern Italy as well. Ireland. A lot of you so-called Irish, a lot of you very well could be Israelites, even if you look white. The brother mentions the people of Scotland. A lot of you French people. And you know what I noticed? I was watching the World Cup, and Saudi Arabia was playing against another team. Every last one of them were Negroes. Every last one of them. I thought Saudi Arabians looked Arab. They were all damn near the whole team. There was one guy that looked like a dark-skinned Puerto Rican, and the rest of them had woolly hair and looked just like Negroes that you see in New York. See, you Arabs, you're a bunch of racists too, because you show the white-looking Arabs. But like I said, Saudi Arabia was playing, I forget the team that they were playing against, it was yesterday. And they were all black. There was not one white-looking Arab on that soccer team. Go ahead.
It says, 7th verse. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Right, that's why when we go out there and speak, you got a lot of our people that say, get a job, or no, that's not the way my pastor taught me, because you're blinded. The Most High put the wool over your eyes, so to speak. You can't see this because the Most High blinded you. This is not for you. You know when you're going to get...
Chapter the 3rd verse. And one cried unto another, and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and the whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips.
That's Isaiah speaking, saying that he saw the Lord. When you read from the first verse, it showed the glory of the Lord, and he was so overwhelmed that he said, I'm ashamed to be in the presence of the Lord. I'm unclean. I'm a man. Just like us. We're men. If the angels came down or the Lord came down before me, I'll get on my face. I wouldn't feel right. I wouldn't feel holy. And that's how Isaiah felt. And this is what happened. This is what the Lord did. The Lord cleansed him. Read.
For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me. And he said, Go, and tell this people, Hear ye indeed.
This people is talking about the nation of Israel, and this was an angel that the Lord sent on a special mission. What was that mission? To blind Israel, to put the wool over their eyes, where their mind could be stopped, deprogrammed. Go ahead.
And he said, Go, and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not.
And that happens every week we go out there. We're telling the people, you so-called Negroes are the Israelites, you people of North, Central, and South America of Indian and Negro descent are the Israelites. Here's a sign right here. Here's a proof right here. And they still can't see it. Some of them might come up and say, well, look, if the